Okay, so welcome to the second video in the series, or I might have broken up the first video into several ones, but in this video into several smaller videos. So anyway, in this video, I'm going to show you how to import the OBJs and create avatars out of them to be able to rig on them. So my version of Marvelous Designer is like 7.5. It's a little bit older. I think they're on 8 now, or maybe even 8.5 now. But they all pretty much work the same. So, okay. So, first thing we're going to do is we're going to delete the avatars. Okay, and then we'll start a brand new scene. And no, we're not going to save it. Okay, so you start off in a new scene. And the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go File, Import OBJ. You're going to, there's the T-pose. This is a desktop T-pose Slink Hourglass. Double click on it. And we're going to load as avatar. And auto scale is good. And just click OK. Okay. Now, you'll get this, and this is where you can click on say that, and I'm going to go let's see, 2 on the keyboard to go straight forward, and then you could rotate this and move it up into position. This is these blue dots and cylinders and stuff. This is for when you're getting your flat two-dimensional pattern positioned onto the avatar before you run the simulation. And so you can do this if you want, or you don't have to. You know, I don't really use this very often, so I normally wouldn't bother with this part, but it's up to you. I guess this thing is for bracelets and stuff. This, if I can get it, sometimes it's a little difficult to click. There we go. Okay, and let's get into position about there. Let me get that there. Now I can do it. Okay. Oh, come on. Where is the circular thing? Come on. There we go. Okay, so I'm just lining these up with the legs. And I'm not going to bother with the ankles. But you see what I'm doing. I'm just rotating this so that it's lined up. Okay. And let's see. And if I remember right, this is, I think these are for the bones. If you wanted to rotate the different bones, you can click on the different bones or something like that, and then you can rotate it into different positions. But like I said, that's if it's a rig mesh. I think you can import DAEs that way. But like I said, I don't recommend it because it doesn't give you the angles of the bones. So, and this is an OBJ which doesn't have it. I guess these are arrangement points. I guess maybe if there's bones, there's another tab here. It's been a long time since I've done that. Like I said, you're not going to be doing that anyway. So, okay, so we're going to close that. Then we're going to turn off that, just that we got that. Okay, so once you have your avatar in there, all you have to do is go File, Save as Avatar. Okay, and where you want to save it to is you want to go to your My Documents. This is public documents, but go to your documents there, go to Marvelous Designer, your version of Marvelous Designer, avatar, and then there's a second folder inside the folder that says avatar. So it's avatar, avatar. And we'll name this video slink. Video slink. And I usually put underscores. I think you can do it without underscores. So we'll say video slink hourglass T-pose. Okay, and you click save. Okay, now if we go to here, if this is closed for some reason, you can open it back up. It's the library. You double click on avatar, and if you had avatar already opened, you double click on it again to refresh it. So now there should be a video slink avatar. There it is, video slink avatar. Okay, so that's the avatar. Okay, so now if we go avatar, let's go delete avatar. That's just deleting, delete all avatars. And see, delete all avatars. Okay, so now we're going to import another one, and we're going to save it. We're going to save it. So go import obj T-pose this time. We already have it open. Load as avatar, auto scale. Just trying to see anything else in here. Yeah, just do auto scale. Click OK. Oh, did I do T-pose? Let's close that. Avatar. Delete all avatars. Did I click the wrong one? Import obj a pose. Open avatar. Okay, so I had accidentally clicked on the wrong one, and now you see with this one the arms and the things are already in the basic position. You could adjust these if you really wanted to. You know, if you really wanted to, you could adjust these. And click close. And then what you do is you go File, Save As, Avatar, and we're going to say a pose. A pose. Okay. So then notice how I have this open. I have to double click on avatar to refresh it. Now we should have, there's S video A pose, and there's S video T pose. And it's in alphabetical order, so okay. And because we use the same mesh to create both of these, what we can do is we can use it, say you want to make a shirt. Let's see. Let's say you want to, I'm going to drag this over here, and we're going to say no, don't save it. We're going to say open, okay. Okay, so say you decided to make a shirt. We're going to make a shirt real quick. If I can, let me use the regular mouse. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to make a really, really super fast shirt. I will be going over in another video how to do this. So this is just making, because what I want to demonstrate next, how to go between those two different shapes, you have to have clothing in the scene for you to be able to see what's going to happen. So stick with me. Okay, I'm going to copy it, and then I'm going to mirror paste it. I'm going to then sew it together. Okay. Like I said, I'll be doing another video where I go in more detail how to do this. Okay, so I'm sewing all the seams. Obviously, I don't want the neck to be sewn together, or the arms to sew together. And then if I go 5 on the keyboard and click that, I can move that back behind her. Flip it horizontally. Okay, so that these are like the threads where the seams are going to go. You want to make sure they're not all twisted. And I'll just move this. This is where this stuff comes into play. You know, where if you wanted it, you can go like that and click that, and it lines things up for you. Whoops. I should have clicked that and then click that. Okay, you're a little, both are a little too high. So I want to bring that down a little bit. But as you can see, it's wrapping around the body a little bit better, so that it has less of a chance of falling. Oops. Whoops. Come on, come here. Come on. Come on. Okay, so let's turn these off. Okay, and then when you hit the space bar or you click on here, it simulates it, and see, it comes together. Okay, I don't usually use that. You gotta unstick it. There we go. Pull it. It was stuck inside her breast. Okay, so I'm just gonna drag this a little bit. Come on. Okay. Okay, so now we have our clothes in the scene. But say you want to export it out in a different pose. You know, it's really easy to switch between these two different poses. If I now come over to the A pose, and let me deselect that so nothing to select. Actually, let me change the color so it's a little easier for you to see. Okay. So, say we want to, like pants. Pants especially, you don't want to export out in the T pose. Because so many avatar creators don't leave a thigh gap, so that this mesh, if you could actually, if it had on X-ray, you'd see it goes inside each other, which makes rigging really a pain in the butt for pants when there's no thigh gap. And so you want to rig pants in the A pose, you know. So say you made your pants originally in the T pose, and you're like, oh, well, I want to export this out in an A pose. Like I said, it's really easy to do. All you do is come back over here to A pose, you click on it, hold down the left mouse button, drag it over, and you can either say save as if you want to save it before you do this, or click now. And it's going to open this up, open avatar. You want to load the avatar as a morph target. And this is how many steps it's going to go between this pose and the other pose. If 30 is just the default, you can just leave it at default. And you click OK, and now watch what happens. Okay, it ran the simulation as the avatar was slowly moving into the pose. So if I was wearing a pair of pants, the legs of the pants would be moved. You know, if I had long sleeves on, the sleeves would have came down here. You know, so that's what you want to do. And now, since we used an OBJ, we know that these arms are at exactly 45 degrees, and we know these legs are out at 5 degrees. So that when you export out your mesh and you bring it in back to Maya, when you import them back into Maya, you know exactly where they're going to be. Okay, so here we are back in Marvelous Designer. Say we want to export these out. Oh, and I'd also highly recommend changing the collision volume. Okay, add thickness to like 5. And what that should do is that gives you a little bit more of a gap between the avatar and the body, and the clothes. So see, it's a little bit smaller. See, it's closer to the avatar body. You could even go as high as 10. That will just give you a little bit more wiggle room, so you don't have as much poke through. But it's up to you. 10 might be a little bit too much. So let's do 5. Okay, that's probably pretty good. That will give you less of a headache of poke through when you go to rig it. Okay, and notice how I had the simulation running while I was changing this over here. The collision. Also will give you slightly fatter wrinkles and folds. Okay, when you increase the collision. Okay, so let's export this out real quick. Let's go to export. You can do export selected since I already selected, but if you didn't, you just go export OBJ. And then we'll just call this video shirt. And you hit save. Okay. So we want all patterns, but we don't want the avatar. So we turn off avatar. I normally do single object welded thin, unified UV coordinates, DAZ Studio. Okay, DAZ Studio scale 100 and everything that, and you click OK. Okay, and now let's go back over to Maya. Okay, here we are back in Maya, and if we import the OBJ, so we go to desktop, and it's the OBJ that we want, not a DAE. Okay, there's the video shirt. Okay, and it's imported here. Sometimes it will import laying down. I must have had a different setting set in, but that's okay. We can come back in here to the outliner. We can select our avatar skeleton. We can change these back to 0. And then we can rotate this 90 degrees. I'm holding down the J key so it turns and then rotating it, and it moves it in 15-degree increments. So there you go, -90. Let's turn off the bones. And there we have our mesh. Okay. And now it's actually, you could rig at this point, but excuse me. Okay, like I said, you could rig at this point, but I would highly recommend you have to retopologize. You have to retopologize. It doesn't look bad, but if you look close enough, you can see it kind of gets this mottled. Not mottled as in modeling, mottled, where it's kind of blotchy. It's kind of blotchy. It doesn't look good. And if you're making clothes in Second Life and you're doing this, you're not going to be able to get, you'll get a bad reputation. You won't be able to sell your stuff for that much money. And it actually does make it harder to rig if you try to rig like this. Yes, in Marvelous Designer there's quads where you can do the quad mesh, and yes, the newer Marvelous Designer has sort of an auto retopologizer, but it sucks. It's better than this. Doing the standard quads in Marvelous Designer is better than this, and doing the retopologizer in Marvelous Designer is better than this, but believe me, it's still pretty horrible. You want to retopologize your stuff, and I am going to be doing a video. That's one of the videos in the series where I will be showing you how to retopologize Marvelous Designer using several different programs. I'm going to retopologize one or two ways in Maya itself. I will retopologize in a free program called Sketch Retopo, which is free and it's wonderful. I will probably, I don't know if I'll retopologize or not in 3D Coat. 3D Coat is another wonderful program that you can use to retopologize with and to paint, with. And I will probably do a video at least showing 3D Coat. 3D Coat, in my opinion, is probably the biggest bang for your buck. You can learn to sculpt in it like ZBrush. It sculpts. You can paint in it, very similar to Substance Painter, to texture. You can create your UVs, and you can retopologize with it. And so for the money, it's the biggest bang for your buck. So if you can't afford ZBrush and you want to sculpt your clothes and not use Marvelous Designer, you can do that. You can do that, and I think you can usually get it on sale for about $100 or $130 on Steam. So 3D Coat is an awesome program. Okay. So, so you have, I think we'll stop here, but we've brought it in. A couple of caveats. You see the scale is 1:1:1:1. When you go to export out, say we rigged it and we went to export out the mesh as a DAE for Second Life. You'd want to make sure that you turned off auto scale and you changed this to centimeter. And then it would come into Second Life the right size. If you're rigging to the small avatar, if you're rigging to that tiny avatar, you would want this to set to meters, and you want to set this to Z up. So, but I have another video that shows all the different settings that you would have in here. And so I have another video. So if you haven't created a DAE before for Second Life, find my video. It's in my videos for the settings that you want to use in your DAE. That will make your life a lot easier. So there's no need for me to go over that now. But in the video, I don't go over that scale thing as to, I just say use meters, but I was always rigging with the avatar tiny. But a lot of people like to rig to the avatar big, and so then you want to switch it from meter to centimeter in the export settings. Okay, so I think that just about it is for this particular video. Of how to get the avatar into Marvelous Designer so you can start creating your stuff on there. So, and we're at almost the 25-minute mark, so I'm trying to keep these videos a little bit shorter. So, awesome. So we will see you in the next video.